What's up, you guys? It's your girl Angela with The Aspiring Boss. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. Today's video, we are going to be addressing some assumptions about lawyers, okay? If you guys have been subscribers of mine for a while, you know I read all my comments, I respond to all my comments, and I have been noticing a little trend in some of the questions some of my prospective law students and aspiring lawyers have. And they're asking me about the negative connotations about being a lawyer and the negative kind of assumptions that come along with that. And, you know, at first I was like, oh, you know, whatever. And then I realized, like, dang, a lot of people have negative things to say about lawyers. And I guess for me, I never really fed into that because I knew this was what I wanted to be for a very long time. I knew this is the profession that I wanted to go into. And I was like, let me see what they're saying about us out there. So I did a little bit of Googling, and y'all, there's a lot of assumptions out there about lawyers. So I found this article on LinkedIn that I kind of skimmed through, but really just kind of didn't even read through it because I want to, you know, react to it for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But before we jump in, I just want to say that, you know, this is all fun and games. I just kind of want this to be kind of a light and fun video. But on a serious note, you cannot make generalizations about a person based on their profession. Yes, there are going to be some common traits and characteristics that, you know, people in a certain profession might have. Like, one thing, a lot of lawyers are type A, you know, but you can't just make, you know, general sweeping assumptions about people. So, you know, how to get that out the way, let's jump right in, okay? I got my computer right here, and so I'm just going to be reading the assumptions as I go. So, first assumption, lawyers are doing it for the money. Did my eyes roll? I'm not really good at rolling my eyes, but I want to roll my eyes. Okay, I have a couple responses to that. The first thing is, like, it's our job. Anything that anyone is doing for work, you want to make money. I mean, isn't that what everybody wants to do, no matter what your profession is? My second reaction to that is, it costs a lot of money to be a lawyer, and you don't always know what the return is going to be. Law school, the legal profession, is super, super competitive, okay? And it takes a lot of time, money, and effort to go into this profession. Undergrad is at minimum 4 years, okay? Law school is at minimum another 3 years. Law school itself costs 6 figures to attend if you don't have, you know, scholarship. It's a large investment. So I hate that people just kind of say that, like, oh, you know, you go into the profession and you make a lot of money, you do it for the money. Well, it costs a lot of money, it costs a lot of time, it costs a lot of effort, it costs a lot to come into the profession. I personally don't know anyone that does things for a living that they're not trying to make money. This is our livelihood. This is how we feed our families. This is how we're able to enjoy life when we can, because we work a lot. That's another thing. To say that people do it just for the money, we work a lot. Sometimes we can't even enjoy any money that we get. And then lastly, not all lawyers are created equally. Not all salaries are created equally. Just because you're a lawyer does not mean you make money, period. All right, so now that I got people together about that assumption, we're gonna go on to the next. All right, second assumption, lawyers are always trying to cheat you. I am offended and I object, okay? What is that? I don't understand that assumption. Like, lawyers are always trying to help. We're always advising. We're advisors. We never try to cheat. We protect people from being cheated, if anything. No, like, that's not true. Nope, I object. Next assumption. Ooh, this is about the litigators. So if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you guys know I do transactional law. I am not a litigator, so I'll try not to get offended on this one because it ain't got nothing to do with me. Litigators need to be aggressive to be good. Okay, so I will say, again, not a litigator. So this is just from what I've seen, what I've been exposed to, not what I've, well, no, a little experience. Okay, so I will say that a lot of litigators are aggressive. That's just a fact. But you don't necessarily have to be aggressive to be good. Honestly, the people who are not aggressive, I think, have more of an edge, okay? Because think about a person. Think about a person who's calm, cool, collected, confident, can articulate their words, can articulate their points, can read you to filth without raising their voice, without the theatrics. Personally, I think those are the types of people that come across more persuasive. But yeah, I can't even front. A lot of litigators are aggressive, but you definitely don't need to be in order to be a good one. Like I said, I do transactional law, but sometimes every now and then I come across a person who, you know, does both. And so they're very much litigators, but they try to dabble in transactional work as well. And I will say they are always way more aggressive than the, you know, transactional lawyers that I, you know, usually work with. So sorry, litigators, don't come for me. If you're a litigator, let us know in the comments what you think. You know, you actually have the experience. So let us know your thoughts on that, okay? But those are just my thoughts. Okay, next assumption. Becoming a lawyer means becoming rich. I think I already spoke on this, but let's just break it down a little bit more. Lawyer does not equal rich. All lawyers are created differently. The money's different. The path you go down is different. The place you work at is different. If you own your own law firm, it's different. Lawyer does not equal money, okay? One thing that is consistent is lawyers have to pay a lot of money to become a lawyer. That's consistent. But the amount of money you make is not consistent. There's lawyers out there making, you know, less than many professions. So do not believe that to be true. I'm honestly, personally, being a lawyer is preventing me from becoming rich because I have all these student loans. I'm just kidding. I'm blessed. But I will say, like, no, not true. Objection. Okay, next assumption. Lawyers feed off your life tragedies. No freaking ma'am, that is so not true. Okay, let's break this down. Because I get where this assumption is coming from. Let's break this down. A lot of times, people go to lawyers when they are experiencing a life tragedy. Okay, so think of someone who, you know, a family member died, or they're getting a divorce, or they got hurt in a really bad accident, or medical malpractice, or something like that. Something negative, something bad has happened to them. Whose advice and counsel do they seek? Ding, 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 a lawyer. And so you find lawyers in situations where they are assisting people who are dealing with life tragedies. And yes, those people have to pay an attorney to represent them because that is our livelihood. Yes, we have to charge. That does not equate to feeding people on their life tragedies. And if you think that, I beg you to ask yourself, would you say that about a doctor? Doctors save lives every day. Doctors do surgeries. Doctors do cancer treatments. And no one looks at a doctor as feeding off of people's tragedies, or at least I hope they don't. Although I'll say them prices, but it's not here nor there. Look at it that way. So no, they aren't feeding off of life tragedies. They're usually assisting people who are dealing with very negative things that are affecting their lives. And yes, they have to charge for it, but that doesn't mean that they're feeding off of it. So I object. Next assumption. Lawyers are manipulative. I object, Your Honor. No. We're not manipulative. We represent our client's interests very well, and we look for ways to represent our client in the best way we can and to get them the best outcome. But we're not manipulative. We're good at crafting things. We're good at thinking. We're good at coming up with alternative solutions to best represent our client, okay? We are not manipulative. I object. Next assumption. Lawyers have no morals. Is this what y'all really think of me? Is this what people really think of what I do? I'm hurt, okay? I'm hurt. That is not true, you guys. If anything, lawyers are held to a higher moral standard. I don't know if this is widely known or not, but like, we have to be in good standing with the bar. We have to answer to somebody every single year. Every single year we have to do continuing education. We have to meet certain standards, and we have to maintain in good standing in order to practice law. And we have a whole moral code of conduct that we have to adhere to. And if we don't, we can get disbarred. We can lose our license or get our license suspended. So totally not true. We are required to have the morals, and we're held to a higher standard than your average person. So, Your Honor, I object. Next assumption. So this next one says, everything is worth suing for when you have the right lawyer. So that's not really a lawyer assumption, but I assume they're basically saying that lawyers believe that. And I'm gonna have to disagree. You know, I feel like I'm doing a lot of objections, okay? If this were court, I think the judge would have to say overruled, okay? Because I'm doing a lot of objections, but I have to disagree. Me, myself personally, I've had family members reach out to me about, a situation where they feel they were wrong, they want to sue, and I have to sit there and explain to them, like, well, let's weigh the pros and the cons, okay? The pros are, yes, if you go to court, you might be able to win this. But the cons are, you're gonna have to pay a lawyer to get there. There's a chance that you might not win, and there's a chance that you might have to pay the person you sued attorney's fees, because that's the thing. And there's a chance that even if you do win, if this person doesn't have any money, you might get a judgment. You might get the right to money, but will you actually get the money? A lot of times, no. It just depends on the matter. Like, I'm talking small matters here where a person has been wrong, but court and suing might not be the best course of action, because they might end up losing money rather than winning the money that they're owed. So I would have to say that's not true. No, we don't always advise people to sue. Also, again, I'm not a litigator, but I get a lot of exposure to litigation. And a lot of times lawyers will advise you to settle and not go to court because it's not worth the risk of losing money. So I don't believe that to be true. I object. Next assumption. All right, next one says, good lawyers only care about the case, not the person. False. Not true. Cut the cameras. Not true. First of all, I will say this article is geared towards litigators because it keeps talking about cases and suing, and y'all know me. If you've been watching my channel, you've been watching my vlogs, you know I don't do litigation. I don't go to court. I don't sue. But in my situation, it would be called, a transaction or a matter. And that is totally not true. The client is key to whatever matter that you're working on. For me, in a situation where I'm doing a transaction, I need to know the client's, industry, need to know the things that they value in order to represent them well. Right? So that's totally not true. And like I said, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I don't really represent individuals. I represent companies and businesses. But even if you're representing an individual, it's the same thing, right? Like, say you're representing someone in a divorce. Well, if you're representing someone in a divorce, if child custody or having the kid on a certain weekend or a certain holiday is important to that person, you need to know that so you can best represent their interests. So that's totally not true. False. I object. Moving on. Not true. Okay, this next one says, lawyers have no sense of humor. I am offended. I object. I think I'm very funny. I think I have a great sense of humor. And I know plenty of lawyers who have a good sense of humor. So I don't agree. And I don't even know why people would think that. Is it they think that we're too prim and proper and distinguished to have a little fun? Not true at all. Not true at all. And I hope that on my channel that's coming across, that we're very much, your normal average people who, are flawed and fun and all those things just like everybody else. So not true at all. I object. Moving on. Okay, this next one says, lawyers have huge egos. And I will say, I've come across some people who have quite a freaking ego. I'm talking Kanye style. But I don't think it has anything to do with the profession. I really think it's a person thing. Like, it's the person thing. It's an individual thing. I don't think it's based on the profession. Not at all. Even myself, like I said, if you've been following my journey, you know that, having confidence and being confident is definitely something that I've had to work towards and still work towards. So egotistical, not at all. But yeah, you will find there are some people with some pretty big egos. And some people do I will say there are some people out there who kind of tout their lawyer status. And there's nothing wrong with being proud of your profession, proud of what you work for, loving what you do. But there's a fine line between loving what you do and feeling like you're somebody important because of what you do. And there are people out there, but you guys, that's in every profession. That's not a lawyer thing. That is a people thing. So I object. Next assumption. Lawyers take too much time. I'm not sure what that means, but I'd have to suspect that they mean like on the matters. And I have a couple reactions to that. So one is, good work takes time, period. I mean, do you want your interests to be represented well or what? And so I guess the negative connotation from that comes from lawyers are paid based on the amount of time they spend on a matter. If you're taking too much time, client is spending a lot of money. But again, you know, to give your full attention to something, to really, you know, represent your client's interest well, is gonna take some time. So I don't understand why that's a negative thing. And also, I don't necessarily think it's true. I mean, again, lawyers are not created equally. Law firms aren't created equally. Everything kind of depends on the situation. But from my experience in the places that I've worked, being responsive, quick turnarounds are expected. And so taking a lot of time, no, like we get back to our clients. We're always responding to our clients, even on weekends and things like that. So I would have to, yep, you guessed it, object, next assumption. And this is the last one, and I'm kind of glad because y'all, this has been kind of like a dragging session, and I am offended. Like, my feelings are hurt. Like, is this what people really think of us? Yeah, so let's see. The next one is hiring a lawyer will cost you unreasonable amounts of cash. I object to the wording of this statement, okay? Not necessarily the entire statement, but I object to the wording. And the word I object to is unreasonable. Unreasonable, I don't agree with. It's gonna cost you some money to have a lawyer, but it's gonna benefit you and save you some money a lot of times to have a lawyer too. Nothing worth having is cheap in this world, and that's just the way I see it. So unreasonable, no, because you have to think about how having a lawyer represent your interests can benefit you. Now, are there times where people get messed over and get bad service and pay a bunch of money? Yes, but that's every profession, that's life, that is not lawyer specific, okay? Take a litigator, for example, because this is very litigation geared. Litigators will represent their clients who are being sued, right? They defend their client and they win their client's case, right? Yes, the client is gonna have to pay the litigator for defending that case. Yes, there's gonna be a legal bill for that they have to pay for. But what they get in return is not having to pay all that money that they were sued for. They get protected in that way. So yes, you're gonna have to come off a coin, but you're still saving coins in the long run. And then you take it from a transactional standpoint. A lot of times we craft documents so people are protected in scenarios where things come up where they might be sued. And so ultimately what I'm trying to say is I still think it's a win, and I don't agree with the word unreasonable. But yes, you're gonna have to come up a coin when you're dealing with lawyers. And also, it also depends on the lawyer and the firm. There's some reasonable firms out here. There's some reasonable lawyers. There's some reasonable prices. You know, it's with anything, with any profession, with hairstylists, nail stylists, with any profession, you're going to have to pay for quality service. It's not a lawyer thing. It's a service thing. So with that, I am happy that was the last assumption, because this was a drag session and I did not enjoy it. I can't believe people feel this way about lawyers or think these things. So let me know in the comments if you had some negative views of lawyers, and let me know your thoughts, and we can kind of discuss in the comments what y'all thought about this video and what you think about lawyers, and if anything was cleared up. I hope some things were cleared up. I hope I was able to address some negative assumptions about lawyers that just aren't true or not generally true. So that is all I have for you guys today. If you made it all the way through this video, you are the real MVP. Go ahead and give it a like because you obviously liked it. Go ahead and subscribe if you are not already subscribed, and turn on that notification bell so that you get notified every single time I upload, y'all, okay? Because I'm pushing out these videos for y'all. Let me know what type of content you want to see. If you are not yet following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me on Instagram, _TheAspiringBoss, and I will see you guys in the next one, okay? Peace.